Definition and core logic of low-cost versus differentiation strategies. Low-cost leadership, the firm tries to become the cheapest producer in its industry, while still offering an acceptable level of quality. The core logic is to win customers by price, often by sacrificing less important features, aggressively managing the supply chain, and exploiting economies of scale. Think of a discount airline like Southwest. It strips out meals, uses a single aircraft type, and sells tickets at lower fares. Differentiation, the firm seeks to be unique in ways that matter to a target segment better, design higher quality brand, prestige superior service, or advanced technology. The logic is to attract customers who are willing to pay a premium for those special attributes. Apple is a classic example. Its phones are more expensive because customers value design ecosystem and brand image. Strategic choice. Porter warns that trying to do both at the same time can lead to a stuck in the middle position, where the firm is neither the cheapest nor truly distinct. The firm must decide which value creation logic, cost, or uniqueness it will base its competitive advantage on, then align all resources to that logic. A value chain shows how a firm creates product value step by step. For cost leadership, each activity is reshaped to cut expense without hurting the minimum quality level. Inbound logistics to operations to outbound logistics to marketing and sales to service. Low-cost suppliers, high automation, direct to store, low price, minimal warranty. Bulk purchasing, standardized cross-docking, price-focused, self-service portals. Long-term contracts, lean layout, shared fleet, no brand ads, online FAQs. Each row represents a lever, for example, bulk purchasing that reduces cost. Each column is a primary activity. By linking levers across activities, firms create an activity system where cost-saving actions reinforce each other. For example, bulk purchase lowers inbound cost, which lets operations run a high automation line, which reduces outbound logistics with cross-docking. This systemic view helps managers avoid isolated cost cuts that could break the chain. Real-world analogy, a fast food chain, for example McDonald's, redesigns its kitchen to an assembly line where each worker performs a single repeated task. This reduces labor hours per burger, similar to a carmaker, using a single platform for many models to cut engineering and parts costs. When a firm differentiates, it can often set a price above the market average because customers value its unique traits. The key concept is price elasticity of demand epsilon, which measures how quantity demanded reacts to a price chain. Epsilon equals % delta Q divided by % delta P. If absolute epsilon is less than 1, then demand is inelastic, customers are less sensitive to price, and the firm has pricing power. If absolute epsilon is greater than 1, then demand is elastic, price changes cause large quantity shifts, and pricing power is limited. Assume a premium coffee brand faces the following demand schedule. Price $6 yields 10,000 cups. Price $5 yields 12,500 cups. Price $4 yields 15,000 cups. % delta P equals 5 minus 6 over 6 equals negative 0.1667, which is negative 16.7%. % delta Q equals 12,500 minus 10,000 over 10,000 equals 0.25, which is 25%. Epsilon equals 0.25 divided by negative 0.1667 equals negative 1.5. Here absolute epsilon is 1.5 greater than 1, so demand is elastic. Lowering price gains volume but reduces revenue per cup. % delta P equals 4 minus 5 over 5 equals negative 0.2, which is negative 20%. % delta Q equals 15,000 minus 12,500 over 12,500 equals 0.2, which is 20%. Epsilon equals 0.2 divided by negative 0.2 equals negative 1.0. Demand is unit elastic, revenue stays roughly constant. A differentiated firm would aim to stay in the inelastic region where absolute epsilon is less than 1. Luxury watches, for example, often see very low elasticity because collectors care more about brand heritage than price. Takeaway: understanding where the product sits on its demand curve lets managers decide how much price premium they can charge without losing too many customers. Cost volume profit CVP modeling for low cost competitors. Numerical illustration. CVP analysis shows how profit changes with sales volume given fixed costs, FC variable cost per unit VC, and price per unit P. The basic formulas are: contribution margin per unit equals P minus VC. Total contribution equals P minus VC times Q. Profit equals total contribution minus FC. Break-even quantity QBE equals FC divided by P minus VC. Example: budget airlines. Fixed cost aircraft lease staff salaries IT systems, $50 million per year. Variable cost per seat kilometer fuel catering airport fees, $0.03. Average ticket price $0.08 per seat kilometer. Average flight distance 1,000 kilometers. Seats per flight 150 flights per year, 2,000 total seat kilometers. Offered equals 150 times 1,000 times 2,000 equals 300 million seat kilometers. Calculate per unit contribution. P minus VC equals $0.08 minus $0.03 equals $0.05 per seat kilometer. Break-even seat kilometer. QBE equals FC divided by P minus VC equals $50 million divided by $0.05 equals 1 billion seat kilometers. The airline currently offers 300 million seat kilometers, far below break, even so it would need to either reduce fixed costs, for example lease cheaper planes, lower FC, increase price slightly maintaining low cost, image raise contribution margin, grow volume dramatically, more seats or longer routes, increase Q. If the airline can increase flights to 6,000 per year, 900 million seat kilometers, profit becomes total contribution equals 0.05 times 900 million equals $45 million. Profit equals $45 million minus $50 million equals negative $5 million, still a loss. Thus, a low-cost firm must keep the margin gap P minus VC sizable and push volume high enough that the fixed cost burden per unit becomes tiny. The CVP model makes this trade-off explicit. Break-even and target profit analysis under differentiation, numeric case. A differentiated firm usually has higher fixed costs, research and development and branding, but also a higher price margin. The same CVP formulas apply, but the numbers differ. Case: premium smartphone maker. Fixed costs: design, marketing, patents, $800 million per year. Variable cost per device, components, assembly, $200. Selling price per device, $800. Desired annual profit, target profit, $200 million. 1. Break-even quantities. Contribution per unit equals price minus variable cost. $800 minus $200 equals $600. QBE equals fixed costs divided by contribution. $800 million divided by $600. Approximately 1,333,333 units. The firm must sell about 1.33 million phones just to cover costs. 2. Target profit quantities. Required contribution equals fixed costs plus target profit. $800 million plus $200 million equals $1 billion. QTP equals required contribution divided by contribution per unit. $1 billion divided by $600. Approximately 1,666,667 units. To earn $200 million profit, the firm must sell roughly 1.67 million phones. Interpretation: the high contribution margin, $600, lets the firm achieve profitability with relatively modest volume compared with a low-cost competitor. However, the high fixed cost means any demand shock, for example a new rival product, can quickly push the firm below break-even, highlighting the importance of brand loyalty and repeat purchases. Real-world analogy: luxury car makers like Porsche have similar structures, expensive research and development and marketing, but each car yields a large margin, so they need far fewer units to be profitable than mass-market brands. Economies of scale versus scope, quantitative trade-off analysis. Economies of scale: cost per unit falls as total output of a single product increases. Represented by the cost function C of Q equals FC plus VC times Q, where VC declines with Q. For example, VC equals a minus B log Q. Economies of scope: Cost savings from producing multiple products jointly because they share resources. Measured by the Scope Index, abbreviated SI. Scope Index equals open parenthesis C of A plus C of B minus C of A and B close parenthesis, divided by open parenthesis C of A plus C of B close parenthesis. Numeric illustration. Scale example, a widget factory has fixed cost $10 million. Variable cost per unit initially $5, but because of bulk buying it falls to $4.5 after 2 million units. Cost at 1 million units equals 10 million plus, 5 times 1 million equals $15 million, $15 per unit. Cost at 2 million units equals 10 million plus, 4.5 times 2 million equals $19 million, $9.5 per unit. Average cost drops dramatically, indicating economies of scale. Scope example, company produces both laptops labeled A and tablets, labeled B. Separate production costs. C of A equals $300 million, C of B equals $200 million. Joint production, sharing research and development and supply chain, costs $450 million. Scope Index equals open parenthesis 300 plus 200 minus 450 close parenthesis, divided by open parenthesis 300 plus 200 close parenthesis, equals 50 divided by 500 equals 0.10, 10% cost saving. A 10% saving shows economies of scope. Trade-off decision. If the market for each product is large, focusing on scale with a single product line may give lower per unit cost. If markets are moderate but the firm can share assets, scope may be preferable. A real example, Toyota uses the same chassis platform for the Corolla, Prius, and Camry, achieving scope by sharing design and tooling while still exploiting scale within each model's volume. Decision rule simplified. Choose scale when C scale is less than C scope, meaning the cost per unit after scaling is lower than the average cost after sharing resources. Numerical models can be built in Excel to compare the two approaches for a given forecasted demand. Risk assessment matrix : cost leadership versus differentiation, probability impact tables. A risk matrix plots probability P of a risk occurring. Low equals 0.1, medium equals 0.3, high equals 0.6, against impact on profit or market position. Low equals $10 million, medium equals $50 million, high equals $200 million. The product P times I gives a risk score. Supply chain disruption. Single low-cost supplier fails, probability high 0.6, impact high $200 million, score 0.6 times 200 equals 120. Premium material shortage, for example exotic leather, probability medium 0.3, impact medium $50 million, score 0.3 times 50 equals 15. Technological obsolescence. New low-cost automation makes current process outdated, probability medium 0.3, impact medium $50 million, score 15. Competitor releases breakthrough feature. For example foldable screen, probability high 0.6, impact high $200 million, score 0.6 times 200 equals 120. Brand reputation damage. Cost cutting leads to quality complaints, probability medium 0.3, impact high $200 million, score 60. Luxury image tarnished by overpricing backlash, probability low 0.1, impact medium $50 million, score 5. Regulatory change. New environmental law raises waste disposal cost, probability low 0.1, impact medium $50 million, score 5. Patent law change increases royalty fees, probability medium 0.3, impact low $10 million, score 3. Interpretation. For cost leaders, the biggest risks are supply chain concentration and technology leapfrogging, both scoring 120. Mitigation. Diversify suppliers, invest in incremental automation. For differentiators, the dominant risk is technological obsolescence, new premium features from rivals. Mitigation. Maintain strong research and development pipeline and protect intellectual property. The matrix helps managers prioritize risk management resources based on quantitative scores rather than intuition alone. Explanation. Strategic fit with Porter's 5 forces, comparative metrics scoring tables. Each generic strategy faces a different pressure profile from the 5 forces. Below is a scoring table 1 to 5, where 5 equals strongest pressure, 1 equals weakest, that quantifies how each force aligns with cost leadership, CL, and differentiation, DI. Porter's force cost leadership CL, explanation for cost leadership, differentiation DI, explanation for differentiation. Threat of new entrants, 4 low-cost firms can enter if they can match scale. High barriers needed, capital, economies of scale. 2. Brand loyalty and IP create higher barriers. New entrants must invest heavily in innovation. Bargaining power of suppliers. 3. Cost leadership relies on bulk buying. Suppliers may have leverage if few sources exist. 4. Differentiation often needs specialized, scarce inputs, for example exotic materials, giving suppliers more power. Bargaining power of buyers. 4. Price-sensitive buyers can push cost leadership firms to lower margins. 2. Differentiation buyers value uniqueness. Price sensitivity is lower, reducing buyer power. Threat of substitutes. 3. Low-cost products are easily substituted by slightly cheaper alternatives. 3. Premium products can be substituted by other premium brands. However, strong brand can lower this threat. Industry rivalry. 5. Cost leadership markets are usually crowded, leading to fierce price wars. 3. Differentiation markets have fewer direct rivals. Competition is on features, not price. Overall fit score average. CL average equals open parenthesis 4 plus 3 plus 4 plus 3 plus 5 close parenthesis divided by 5 equals 3.8. High competitive pressure. DI average equals open parenthesis 2 plus 4 plus 2 plus 3 close parenthesis divided by 5 equals 2.8. Moderate pressure. Strategic insight. Cost leaders must build strong defensive capabilities, cost discipline, scale, efficient logistics to survive high rivalry and buyer power. Differentiators focus on protecting their unique assets, branding, patents to offset higher supplier power and maintain lower buyer power. The table can be turned into a radar chart for visual comparison in presentations.